baby. We're back. We're fucking back right now. I didn't get any sleep last night. There are so many things going on, and least of all is Bitcoin's new all-time high. But you know what? We're back in the cave right now. I feel a lot of familiar faces in here. I feel like everyone's woken up, as Nikki Page has said. Good morning to you as well, Miss Nikki Page. But goddamn, man, it is good to see people back in good spirits. All it took was a new all-time high by like $10,000. But you know what? That's the best way to do it. Just make people rich again. You know, that's the most simple way to get anything going. Anyways, I see a lot of familiar faces here, which is always awesome. I see Mr. Van Duysen, I see Nimbo, I see Khan, I see Turdy, I see who else? Mr. Cavill. Mr. Cavill, holy shit, it's you. Spence Hogg. And who else do we have? Flat Smack, Miggy, Anita Cho. I see Sanaz. This is great, man. Very, very good. Wes Rocket on Twitter. I got both Twitter and YouTube going right now, actually making it really nice. But, you know, Bitcoin taking its first major leg up here. And I think that the 5-day time frame on CME just so accurately summarizes up what's going on right here. You can see very clearly Bitcoin opening this current 5-day dildo above the most recent price action pivot. And you know, as long as Bitcoin's above there, it's just, this is price discovery. This is where things get fun. This is the fun part of the market. And well, I mean, an object in motion will continue to stay in motion until acted upon by an outside force. And right now, it's getting acted upon by some massive girthy green dildos. Coffee break content. What's up, man? Good morning to you over there on Twitter. We got Calamity. We got Anderson777, Mr. Elliot P. What about me, Crown? I see you as well. My head was turned. I'm actually operating with a bit of a reduced setup right here. A lot of changes coming our way very soon. In fact, the timing of these streams is going to be massively changed around relatively soon. Still a few more things to kind of get through, but you'll see a lot of changes coming up, and I hope that it's at the exact right time, because goddamn, man, it makes me so excited when I see shit like this. It really does. What's up, Mr. Patrick Ocean? I see you over there, man. Big Jaddy Chet and Wire Flyer. I see Wire Flyer. Ram those green dildos into my bungalow hole. Yes, my bungalow hole as well. Whenever I see bungalow or bunghole or butthole or anything now, I think of Elliot's new fucking project, Black Hole. Like, I watched one of his videos and he called it, it's called Black Hole, but he called it a beehole. And I'm like, hey, wait a second, I'm thinking about the wrong thing here. This is not correct. And Lomachilla Azul, good morning to you, man. Shannon Jackson, Monkey Mike, all sorts of good monkey man. Baseinator TV, I love it, man. I almost thought that was Base Nectar, also one of my most favorite producers of all time. Amazing. Kijo's dad says Ethereum at 3,000. Wowzers, yeah, crazy. Even Mr. Butyrol is waking its slow head up and finally taking a nice leg up here. I know I felt crazy on this one for quite some time now, saying like, okay, I know it's fucking Ethereum. You know, I know it's like not that big of a deal anymore, but goddamn, really, is it not going to get back above $3,000? Well, there you have it. It is now officially above $3,000. In fact, I suspect it's going to be making a quick leg up, probably closer to 31 to 3,300-ish region. This does feel like the portion of the market cycle where I think most people are usually sticking around to wait for. And, you know, how long do we have of this? Well, hopefully more than a few months, but we shall see. You know, I think that this market still is going to put in a major high sometime around the end of this current quarter, let's say late August to late September-ish region. But does that necessarily need to be a macro high? I guess it's always a potential to be a macro high, but you know, for what it's worth, Bitcoin is acting significantly different here. I just want to highlight this yet again, because Bitcoin's done now the same thing. What is it? 4 times in a row? No, 3 times in a row. I can't count. And what is it? It's actually been a majorly indicative of a major change of behavior here. And I've been saying this for a while, that Bitcoin is now acting like an ETF, especially since this bull market began. We've seen something that we have not seen in previous bull markets ever. And that is these very long form consolidations on new all-time highs. In fact, Bitcoin throughout this cycle has put in 1, 2, 3, resolving this third one right now, as far as the mega consolidations go. And again, we haven't really seen these sort of styles of consolidations before, especially like intra-cycle. So what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is these prolonged 6 to 7 to 8 month long sideways channels that Bitcoin's been putting in as a base and then launching higher. This is very similar to how, you know, a lot of the major ETFs move. We saw it over here. This was from March 2023, getting resolved significantly later in October of 2023. Again, big move up from there. Then we see the same thing in 2024. Bitcoin spending all of March to basically November in that same range, more than half the year, 245 days if you want to be exact, and resolving that one to the upside with another 50% move. And then, of course, most recently, we've seen Bitcoin pretty much this whole year hanging out within this current range for the last 210 days or so, and now it looks like it is resolving as of this moment. And by the way, now that I recognize it here on the weekly time frame, we can see that the weekly price action pivots is marking this off as a nice little channel. And I don't necessarily think that it's going to work like a pattern in this case, but I do think that the upwards band here, sorry, the upwards trend line extension is going to be an area of interest if and when Bitcoin does approach it. That currently is at about, that's currently at like 132,000 US dollars. Obviously, each and every passing week that raises up a little bit more. But if and when Bitcoin does get around there, we should be expecting a bit of an opposite reaction. But keep in mind, I'm looking at very, very, very high term timeframes here because ultimately, we're looking again at a resolution of, 210 days. Like, let me actually nail this one down. Is same range for 224 days. So certainly more than half of the year. That's fucking crazy, man. So do I think that everything's just going to end on this one first massive girthy green dildo in my face? Yes, no, of course not. It's very, very funny, man. I've been seeing a lot across social media venues like, hey, when's the next pullback? Hey, when's the next correction? Hey, when downside? It's like, dude, you just had 224 fucking days of sideways price action in a range. It's being resolved on the first fucking weekly dildo. Today is literally the first fucking day of it even closing above there. Like, why are you looking for a goddamn correction right now? This thing can move for the next month or two, and it's really not going to show anything resembling, significant downside. I would expect on a higher term time frame. Now, look, if you're on an hourly time frame, if you're on, lower term time frames, yes, you're going to get pullbacks here and there. Obviously, Bitcoin is extremely volatile on these breakouts. We saw even earlier today a move all the way from 117,000 all the way down to 115,000 bucks. These used to be big moves. It's not so much anymore, and Bitcoin just eats it up, continues upwards and onwards. So, for those of you who are looking for pullbacks, who are looking for corrections here, I think you're early to the party. As always, Saint is never wrong. He is only early. He is only early, sometimes very early, but that just means you're a visionary. And Dan Golden says, we are all rich. That's right. We are all rich. A lot of people asking, where is Elsa? Yeah, I should probably let you know. Elsa is not going to be here today. She's doing all sorts of girl shit today. But that does mean that I don't have my usual helper, and that means that it's going to be very, very difficult for me to get all of these. I just got a notification from my chess app. Hey, that's not important right now. We can't be playing chess. But I should warn you that because I do not have my usual elf helper in Elsa, that it's going to be very difficult for me to pull up a lot of these super chats. I have already saved a lot of them. Myself, I did it all myself, like a big boy, but you got to give me some time because it's inevitable that I will be missing some, I'm sure. So do be aware of that if sending them, and I do appreciate it as always, of course, but I might miss it. I'm just a one-man band today, which is all good. Just how it used to be, We have made it to the promised land. I think if this is it, I think the promised land gets a little bit more girthy though. On Twitter, Immaculate oh my God. Immaculate Hole on Twitter says, Crown Sir, good day. I hope you're well rested to take the girthy greens. I am, sir. No, I'm not. I'm actually very well under rested. I went searching for the Quant Prime service and realized you make it super fucking difficult to find your project suite. It is. Oh, no URL on Twitter and no URL in the YouTube bio. There should be one in the YouTube bio. Oh, I see where that's probably coming from. The confusion's probably coming from because I just put all of the programs and services in the Teachable link. I don't name out, hey, this program here is this link. Maybe I should do that. I've been kind of lazy on the business side of things. The business side of things been slow anyway. The trading and investing side of things has been quite slow as well. But I like it when the investing side of things is slow. That has been very, very nice. Like I said, I'm going to be getting into more and more sort of long-term investment and just financial literacy and education content. As I learn new things, and of course, whenever I learn something new that I think is important and powerful, I want to try to disseminate that information. One, because it's a nice thing to do, but two, and more importantly, and also very, very selfishly, it helps me better understand it as well. And on that topic, I'll be releasing in the next week my first sort of video on financial literacy. It'll go over very, very basic stuff at the beginning. I don't know if it's going to be super useful to people who have at least a little bit of history, studying these sort of things. But I do want to start from like a very, very ground base so I can build it up, and then we'll get into the fun stuff like taking out asset-backed loans. A lot of people were really, really interested in asset-backed loans when I brought it up very briefly. Just I think it was on Tuesday. But yeah, the more and more that I read into these things, the more and more that I learn, the more and more I have this sort of moment that I've had earlier in my trading career when I was learning options. I specifically remember it. where it's like all of the pieces start to fit together and you're like, oh shit, this is how the economy and how the system, the financial system is really set up. And it's not necessarily broken right now or anything like this. It's just people don't know how to use it. And is that their fault? Is that someone else's fault? Who knows? But we all have access to the same information nowadays. So it's like, just fucking learn it, and who cares whose goddamn fault it is? Because if you're too damn focused on whose fault it is, you're never going to get anywhere, because you're always trying to assign blame somewhere. And it's like, why do I even need a change if I can just blame someone else? No, that's not what we're about here. We're looking for ways to take advantage of the system in the way that it is literally meant to be used. Holy shit, it's a crazy idea, but yeah, it's very, very eye-opening when you look into these things, because you realize what is driving everything and what the real purpose is of the whole financial situation, of the whole financial system and task code and situation, is that the government is just setting up incentives for people to do what the government wants. It's really that simple. That's why you get so many fucking tax breaks in real estate. Now, I want nothing to do with real estate personally. It scares the shit out of me, but I get why people get into it, and I get why it's so advantageous. You get all sorts of tax breaks and whatnot, so that people have a little bit more comfort in taking on the insane, massive, disgusting responsibility, which almost always fails, except in some certain cases, to be an entrepreneur and provide those services. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy when you look into it. Anyways, lobotomized Muppet show. Are we a lobotomized Muppet show? Well, I'm a lobotomized Muppet, and this is a show. So yes, we have all these things. I don't know why the hell you're tuning in if that's your opinion, but fair enough, man. Elsa's spending some new money. Elsa is new money. She bought some Bitcoin, and she came in today and she's like, fuck you. Don't you dare tell me to clean the dishes. And I did, and she did. And it was really, really nice. This channel is what made me a gay for TA. Yes, we're all a little bit gay here, and we're all definitely gay for TA as well. Igor says Bitcoin is breaking out of the diagonal resistance on a linear weekly chart from highs of 2018, 2024, and May 2025. This is not something that I've looked at myself, but I'm guessing you're referencing something like this. I don't know how much I care about it, because it's like, well, it's not, unless if you draw it like this, in which case it is, but that's not a fair way to draw it, because then you're not being consistent with the wicks. If you go off of closures, maybe, let's see, maybe, closures a little bit closer there. No, but still, or sorry, hold on. That might actually work. Hold on. If we go for closures, yeah, that actually does work, to be fair. So perhaps yes. And if it does, well, what does that tell you? I don't know. It tells you what we already know. When you see something like this actually broken, I mean, typically things go on a fucking crazy run. That is typically how like a lot of these parabolas get going. Does anyone remember Parabolic Trav? I randomly saw his name. I think Ansem or something tweeted him out, and now I'm realizing I'm showing my age here, because holy shit, man, that was like almost 10 years ago. Fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. What is the average percent gain of these big moves after 6-month consolidation? About 50%, just kind of guessing it off the top of my head. We can see really, really quickly here. But sorry, I should have expounded a little bit more on that point. The reason also why this is so interesting to me, that Bitcoin is spending 6-7 months long consolidations and then breaking out after new all-time highs, that we've never seen that before. We've never seen that before for Bitcoin. In the first market cycle over here, Bitcoin breaks the highs, boom, it's just straight fucking shot up. Same thing over here, breaks highs, straight shot up. Same thing over here, breaks the highs. Yeah, you see some corrections here and there. They don't last more than a month. Same thing over here, just breaks the highs and straight fucking up. And then most recently, we do not see the same thing. We do not see the same thing. This cycle has been a lot more orderly and a lot more I guess robust in that in that regard. When I see price action like this, or generally when you get price action like this, it speaks to the longevity of the overall move. Anyways, what was I just about to say? Yeah, okay. So someone was asking, what is the general percent move after these major consolidations are resolved? Well, we can start off with this one here. And if we go from the actual breakout to the next major high, that was 77 days, 63% move to the upside. This was about a month long, a little bit more than a month long consolidation right here. Then Bitcoin obviously goes on to a new mega consolidation for about 6-7 months. This one, again, 77 days until the next major high, like literally to the T, by the way, 77 days. This one up 59%, so not bad right there. And obviously we have our most recent breakout right here, or assuming this is going to close as a breakout. I mean, it's a long day left to go, but let's see, what would 50% or so on top of price action look like? 160s ish. I think that's fair game. If we assume the same sort of time relationship with, hey, I have no idea if that's going to work out, but I do have some other compelling things that I'll show you in just a moment here. We can see that 77 days out brings us into the end of September, and I actually do have one other thing from a completely different angle that does suggest a very significant date in September, probably for a major high, but of course you never truly know. But that would be bringing you back to this chart right here. This is the fib time extension chart, and the fib time extension chart has been getting pretty much all of the major highs and the major lows throughout Bitcoin's current cycle. We can see when and by the way, I should let you know, I actually added another fib onto here, the 782 variety, and you can see that during the first consolidation over here gets about the high, I should explain, this is anchored from the prior cycle high to the current cycle low. Anyways, yes, okay, first couple ones, high and high, this one over here, low during that consolidation, boom, big move up, this one over here, high, this one over here, low, this one over here, the low, boom, mega move up. Then most recently we see this one as a low, this one effectively getting the breakout, or at least that's what I think it's going to very likely be. And then we do have another date of significance, the 7382, which comes in very early September. So I do think sometime between early to mid-September, we probably see the next major high in this market. Maybe it's a macro high. Maybe it's too early to call that. I don't have any major opinions on that just yet. But I do have an opinion on early to mid-September, we probably get a major high, which produces a major pullback. Does that make it a macro high? I don't know, but I'd kind of have the same sort of synopsis as I had on the other ones that we saw earlier this year. It's definitely a major high. I don't know if it's going to be the macro high, but it obviously there's always a potential. Anyways, yeah. France is falling this summer, a market crash, 15 August. Wait, what the fuck? I honestly don't care about France. Sorry, but I've studied too much French history, and I've come to realize one thing, and I won't say it because it's really fucking mean. The French do have some badass traits for sure, absolutely, they really do. But I feel like they embellish a lot of their triumphs. But that Napoleon motherfucker, he was pretty damn cool. He's pretty damn cool. The movie, however, very bad, very very bad. Don't know what the hell was going on over there. Some fucking garbage. But yeah, the moons were right again. The moons actually were right again, which is pretty crazy. I mean, were they right again? I guess it's kind of early to say yes, but yeah, I mean, this one did effectively long Thursday. So yeah, you do have that. Pepino says, if you're looking for a true fact-based narrative for the pump, it's because of the moon. Obvious in hindsight. Yes, indeed. I mean, yeah, it's just another model right here, but does seem to have timed this one relatively well. So if you're actually looking for timing things, now that I recognize it, we got some really weird confluence between these things. We got the moons over here, we got the fib time extension right here, and then what was the other thing? Yeah, just general sort of consolidations leading to the next sort of major high of about 77 days from completion. So, it's just strange. I didn't prepare that for this for this stream. By the way, I should also warn everyone that I will be signing off in about an hour from now. I do have a hard time limit there, very hard time limit. I should be able to get to all the super chats that I see thus far. But yeah, like I said, if you're sending in super chats today, understand it's just me. It's just a one-man band, so I don't I don't have my usual Elsa to help me out, and that means that it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to pull them up. So yeah. Anyways, what's up, Mr. Adam Barlam? Good morning to you as well, sir. I did see a pink moon a couple nights ago. So fair enough. Yes, people asking about Arizona. Yeah, man. Actually, I have some family in Arizona, so we'll probably visit them at some point. It's really interesting, man. Like, I don't really know it. I don't have like a good picture in my mind of Arizona, but at least the picture that I do have in my mind is like, it's a fucking desert, right? But a lot of people went there, that I knew from school, and they love it. They fucking love it, man. Like, they love it beyond belief. Anyways, there was a few things that I wanted to record here, probably for some shorts videos that we'll put up over the weekends. Maybe we actually do one of these, and then we'll go over some of the general setups to get general areas of interest for the corns. What's up, Mr. Meme Machine? Hero Crown Old Buddy Hagen says the new all-time high. Wait, what? Oh, is he still around? Is he still doing things? Yeah, I'm a lot of Arizona people here. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it looks really fucking hot, man. That's the one thing that looks very obvious. I think I saw like yesterday it was 46 or 47. Like, Do you just melt when you go outside? I hear though that the heat, it's not wet heat. So my only experience with extreme heat has been in Dubai, and there you have both extreme heat plus humidity, and it's just like you're being fucking suffocated as soon as you go outside. But I think in Arizona it's just dry heat, so it's a little bit more easy to get through. Anyways, yeah, let's go over this. Let me actually, okay, I will save these over here again. Just humbly asking that you give me a little bit of grace with getting these super chats, just because it's going to be difficult. Actually, maybe Nimbo's got me here. Yeah, Nimbo's got me. All right, nice one. Okay, we're actually good to go. Okay, sweet. Let's record a few of these shorts, and then we'll get into the actual content of the day. Bitcoin is breaking out to new all-time highs today, and wait, no, that's not what we want to do. You're going to see me fuck up many a time, because that's what typically happens, especially when I'm massively underslept as well. No cup and handle with falling volume, says Stefan. I don't know, man. I feel like people are too quick to call everything a goddamn formation, but is it a couple and a half? I mean, it's a continuation breakout. You don't need to fucking put a goddamn name on everything. It's an uptrend, it's a breakout, and continuation. That's all I need to know in this case. And it looks very, very beautiful. It's very, very nice. Very, very beautiful. We like that. We like that a lot. Anyways, okay. Let's get serious on this for a goddamn second. Nope. It's still fucking hot, says Nick. Fair enough. Do you have long shorts or short longs? Probably shorts and puts, honestly. I really don't want to be holding like active leverage positions right now. I do have one bot using the 5-day 5 EMA strategy, or a variation of it, I should say. But for the most part, during this portion of the cycle, I've told myself I mostly want to be safe, holding. Obviously, I'm not letting go of my corns, but at the same time, I'm not like looking to be super aggressive trading or anything like this. I mean, this is the easy, fun portion of the cycle. Like, just let Bitcoin do its thing. You can probably even play some shitcoins as well soon too, if not already. But yeah, Bitcoin is breaking out to new all-time highs today, and we have a model here that has been extremely accurate in engaging and guessing. Oh, Jesus Christ, man, I can't speak. Bitcoin is breaking out to new all-time highs today, and we have a model here that has been accurately predicting the major highs and major lows throughout this cycle sequence, and it once again has actually gotten Bitcoin's breakout thus far. Anyways, this sequence is a fib time sequence, which is anchoring from the 2021 cycle high to the 2022 cycle low, and you can see that the projections from those dates have very often lined up with major highs and major lows for Bitcoin this cycle. I'll point out this first one over here, getting around the high of this current mega move for Bitcoin off the $18,000 low. Again, this one over here getting the next major high, and this one over here getting that subsequent low that did lead into a 50% plus move to the next actually new all-time high at $74,000. Then we get the same one over here, boom, marking the high, marking the low, once again marking the low, and another 50% move to the upside. And then of course, most recently we do see a low. Is this going to be a breakout, and do we have another date of interest coming up? Yes, indeed we do. That would be the 3782 extension right here, and that is very early September. So perhaps it's good to keep on your calendar there, because we do expect that there's going to be either a major high or a major low around that date. Obviously, with Bitcoin breaking out here, or presumably breaking out, barring some sort of mega massive rejection before end of day, then I would be looking at that as likely to mark the next major high before another major consolidation. Nice one. Okay, very, very simple, very, very easy. Yeah, a lot of Chandler people as well. I think my sister and her husband and their family live there as well, or somewhere around there. They love it though. They absolutely love it. Like a lot of Arizona people here. What the fuck? Crazy, man. Yeah, you're on Pacific Standard Time. That's one of the best time zones, I do think as well. There's a couple other things that I wanted to reference. Yes, okay. As far as general areas of interest for Bitcoin here go, I do want to again point towards the 2-day time frame. What was it? It was basically a falling channel regression play right here. But we saw these two competing trendline extensions. Bitcoin resolved that obviously last week on Wednesday, and has since then just been using that 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 top band to base off of before launching higher this week. So it did take some time to to resolve. This one is pointing up a little bit further north at about $120,000. So I do think that Bitcoin does get to $120,000. I mean, probably before this weekend ends. It might even very well be today around U.S. market open. This is when crazy things can happen. But at the same time, when you do have a technical or implied target from that, it's probably a good idea to at least be expecting a very, very short-term time frame pullback. Again, I'm not calling this like a 2-week time, or sorry, a higher-term time frame pullback or anything like this. I think that on the higher-term time frames, it's going to just look like continuation from here for a while. But on the lower-term time frames, 15-minute, 30-minute, hourly time frame, if you want to trade those, then yeah, you might see some volatile pullbacks during those times. But again, probably not going to account for much, when you do zoom out to a higher-term time frame. Anyways, another couple of major things that I want to point out here that are relevant for today's closure are, wait, where is it? Where actually is it? Yes, there it is. Okay, Jesus, man, I thought I was losing my mind. But we have another setup right here on the 3-week HPDR for CME specifically, which actually closes today. Bitcoin is potentially I would say very likely at this point, going to reclaim that median, which is significant because anytime Bitcoin has reclaimed the 3-week median on the HPDR indicator, it's gotten at minimum a shot up to the 38.2 level. And I mean, actually in almost every case, it actually gets even higher than there towards a 50% or 618 level right here. For reference, the 38.2 level is about 138,000 US dollars. Kind of big. The 50% level is about 100 or just under 160,000. 60.18 level is about 166. But I'll run through this actually on another shorts video. In fact, I'll record that as well. What's up, Mr. Durian Rambutan? Good morning to you, man. Arizona to life. Yeah. Is it true that you have fucking scorpions and tarantulas just walking over you at all hours of the day? Do you like wake up with them on your face or something like this? That's my real question. 250,000 Bitcoins in September, says Vizair. I don't know, but I like it. I'm gonna go with your projection, and I'm gonna start spending that money right now. It's all gonna be gone. Crown, you were right about the June-July prediction. I don't know which one that was, but fair enough. My general thoughts recently have been, Bitcoin, if it's bullish, it's moving like now, and it is moving now, to be fair. So, this is playing in alignment with a lot of these models, which is overall a good thing, but it does really make me think like, personally, I just do have a hard time seeing this market cycle go like significantly further in terms of timing, but I will keep an open mind with it. Of course, my opinion is not not like the deciding factor of that. Just personally, if I'm being honest, I do feel like it's like, do I really think it's going to go that much further? I don't know about that. Again, in terms of time, but like I said, I think that this is probably the most fun, most explosive, most interesting portion of the market cycle. I think this really is a time that typically people are waiting around for. When you're in like that back half of 2021 cycle, when you're in that back half of the 2017 cycle, these sort of times are, is what I compare it with. And I think that's what a lot of people are just in crypto for to begin with. And, can you play some altcoins during these times? Well, probably. I mean, if there's ever a time, that would be the time. Let's see what the total market cap is looking like, excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins. And I know I'm still pretty fucking bearish on this chart, but it should rally a bit here. It should rally a bit, at least a little bit, another 10, 15%. So, altcoins maybe catch a little bit of a bid, but overall, I mean, this is still ugly as hell. What about Bitcoin dominance? Maybe that one has a nicer look, although I don't really care about it as much. This has been a complete buy the dip chart for 3 years straight, and it probably comes down. It probably actually does come down to about 63.5%. But that's a beautiful place for yet another higher low in a series of higher lows that just continues to stair-step its way onto heaven and beyond, I guess. It is what it is, ma'am. It is what it is. Can you please give me some timeline? Timeline of what? Let me just consult my crystal ball, sir. I have all of the answers right here. I've never been wrong ever in my life. And you can have it as well. Kidding, man. For anyone who's new here, I'm wrong all the time. Forwards predictions are extremely difficult things to do and change all the time. And as new information comes in, it's always wise, at least in my opinion, to be open to change your mind too. So, yeah, man. XRP is crazy right now. Yeah, man. It has had a very nice run. Seems to be one of the favored coins as of recent for sure. That one, back around 260. I believe it hit our corrective target a couple weeks ago at 190. So couldn't have told you it was going to like V-shape recovery exactly from there, but hey, not bad, I guess. Crown, can coin reach $500? I mean, anything can reach any amount of money. It's just, what is the probability of that? I happen to think Coinbase will be reaching $500, probably more than $500. It's very, very simple right here. Coinbase closed a quarterly bullish engulfing dildo. It's never done that before, I believe, ever. And now you're seeing the results of that. I mean, I would not be at all surprised to see this thing make new all-time highs sometime between now and at least August. And that's a 3-month time frame. The 6-month time frame is also similar here too. It's also a bullish engulfing dildo, the one that just closed for June. So it's like, do I think it's going to go to 500? Yeah, I also don't think it's going to stop there. I think this thing has like real potential to go significantly higher, but that's just me. And I should be very open and honest here. I do own Coinbase. I've owned Coinbase since under $100. So I am talking my book 100%, but I mean, you know, I don't buy things that I don't think are going to go fucking up to begin with. So I always love that when people say he's showing his bag. It's like, well, yeah, you know, I typically believe in stuff that I buy. Like, crazy fucking idea, right? Crazy fucking idea. Like, isn't that the more transparent way of doing things anyways? Will miners finally catch a break? I don't know. And I don't even know if it matters right now, man. Just let Bitcoin do its thing. Just let Bitcoin do its thing. Everyone's here tonight. It's a nice party. It's good. We're all very, very happy. Bitcoin continues to go up and to the right. That's what we love. That's what we're here for. And I think I would like to record. Yeah, let's record this one as a short as well. I think that this could be kind of cool and hopefully useful too. All right. Bitcoin on CME is about to do something that it has not done since all of the major breakouts that we've seen throughout this cycle. In fact, even in the past as well, which is reclaim the median on the 3-week HPDR indicator for CME. That one's going to be closing later tonight in 14 hours, 27 minutes, and 50 seconds and counting. And assuming that it does close above the right price of $104,659 on CME, then we will have an official reclaim. And I'll just show you what the results of that have looked like in the past and what that likely means for the future. The last time that we saw Bitcoin reclaim this major median here was in October of 2024. Obviously, Bitcoin got a free ride up significantly higher to the 61.8 level, and then even a little bit higher than there. This one producing the next sort of 50% plus move effectively. Then we saw the same reclaim back in October of 2023. Bitcoin goes on for a similar 50% or plus rally, and this one happening very, very fast, getting all the way up to the 78.6 level a couple months later. And then, of course, coming off of the current cycle low, or what is the cycle low, I should say, Bitcoin did reclaim right here and had a quick shot up again to that 78.6 level very, 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 very fast. And we've seen it in prior cycles as well. Same thing over here, quick shot up. Same thing over here from 2020. And then we had a couple of iterations prior than that as well. Now, I don't necessarily know if I trust those earlier ones that much, but if history is anything to go off of, and assuming that Bitcoin again closes the day above, let's just call it $105,000 US, then the next most relevant area of interest is going to be the 38.2 level here, which we've actually never even seen a top from this setup from before, and that would be at $138,000 US or so, give or take. Do I expect Bitcoin to pull back a little bit from there? Yes, absolutely. Do I have a time frame from when this is going to happen? No, probably in the next month and a half, if it's going to happen at all. And then from there, we do have the next major areas of interest where we actually have seen these highs come in around at the 50% level, which is $158,000 US, and the 61.8 level here, which is $166,000. Again, how long does this take? I don't know, but those would be the next major areas of interest if Bitcoin were to exceed those earlier targets. Anyways, yeah, pretty damn simple here on the 3-week time frame. And yeah, I mean, call me crazy, but I have a kind of a difficult time seeing Bitcoin below 105,000 tonight. I guess crazier things have happened. Well, that would be a $13,000 dump in my fucking face before end of day, almost less than half of a day left of trading. But hey, possible, I guess. Anyways, I feel like there's maybe one or two other things that we should probably get on here as well, and then we can go to the comments of the day. Oh yeah, I did want to point out that the 2-week time, or sorry, not the 2-week time frame, but the 2-day time frame over here, volatility versus stochastic momentum setup has indeed fired off, and we I mean, you're kind of getting the exact price action that you'd be expecting from something like this. But I do want to, again, call back to the statistics surrounding this one. And generally, it takes about 19 days, so let's call it just under 3 weeks, to reach the next major high for Bitcoin. And the average return for these is 27.73 with a standard deviation of about 10. So on the lower end for the first standard deviation, we're looking at maybe 20-ish%. On the upper end, we're looking close to 40%. So looking at it from here, what would that effectively be, assuming today's close does hold? Well, 20% to the upside obviously puts Bitcoin at $134,000. If we go a little bit higher than that, well, let me actually bring this down. If we go closer to the top end of that first standard deviation, that would be $154,000 US. Again, timing for that could be anywhere between, anywhere around about the 3-week mark from today. So 3 weeks from today is when that would be August 1st. So I do expect this rally to very likely continue. Again, assuming Bitcoin still closes today with expansive BBWP reads representing volatility. It's a long day left to go, obviously, but I would say it looks like a pretty good bet right now. Of course, you never truly know until it closes. Crazy things do happen, but yeah, that is in there. And then of course we've got the 5-day time frame as well. This one has actually not officially fired off just yet, and I do measure these ones from the confirmation of them actually firing off, confirmed by BBWP getting back above 15 percentile. As of right now, BBWP has risen. He has risen from 0 percentile to this current period, which is 1.598 percentile. I said 1.98 percentile, literally less than 2 percentile. So this is very far away from firing, at least as of right now. But if it did fire off right now, it would obviously favor the upside with the 5-day stochastic oscillator position as such. This one is currently pivoted at $114,000 US. So that really does imply that if you are bullish for Bitcoin, you got to be expecting, or at least in the way that I view this, is that I would be expecting Bitcoin to really continue significantly from here. Because if Bitcoin does hesitate, then this one will catch up to it at some point, and those probabilities will flip in favor of a downside move rather than an upside move. But for right now, it's very likely the 2-day time frame is going to confirm later tonight. Do we get the 5-day time frame confirming in about 3.5 days? Hopefully so. That could easily make this job a lot easier, I should say. And we could go ahead and reference these statistics regarding that. Whenever we've seen that setup fire off, it's actually been, for all 16 prior iterations in Bitcoin's history, it actually has perfectly put in some mega upside, on average putting in about a 41% move with a standard deviation of 11 or 12% almost, given a first standard deviation range between about 30% all the way up to 52, 53%. I'm not going to, well, should I even bother doing that right here? I guess we can do it really quickly, but 30% on the lower end puts you at 146. That number keeps on popping up now, doesn't it? And on the upper end, 52%, somewhere around there, 170. We're seeing a lot of these things from many different sources of edge align around the same sort of mega major numbers. We got some at around, very, very short-term ones at about 120. We got some more at around 130 to 135 region. Funnily enough, not so much in the actual 120s, then about 145, and then about 160 or so. Those are kind of the big numbers for me. I do expect that they will get hit, hopefully within the next couple months. That would make things a lot easier. And again, a timing for this one as well for the 5-day setup is that it typically takes about 34 days to reach that next major high. Now, like I said, we haven't seen one of these, any one of these 16 prior setups ever fail. Doesn't mean it's always going to be like that, obviously, but I do assume that if the 2-day time frame, confirms tonight, which it very likely will, you're probably going to see the 5-day time frame follow through here too. But this is also why I do think that this market cycle, at least when Bitcoin hits its next major high, you're in for a very, very big correction. Another like 30 to maybe 50% correction, assuming that it does lift off from here. I mean, it just seems a little bit too, aggressive in my opinion. But hey, my opinion doesn't necessarily need to agree with that. And as far as timing goes, assuming that this is the first confirmation here, well, about 35 days out puts you again mid-August. So, we can kind of come out with general areas of interest in terms of timing for those targets. But we shall see. We shall see as always. Anyways, I am going to get into the super chats right here. I've already saved the initial ones. Don't think that I've forgotten you. It's just sometimes a little bit difficult. These are thinking about the name. What is QAR? What? What? What kind of fiat currency is this, man? I don't think I need to ask, hold on. I need to ask, what's his name? Grok about this one. I need to know. Or actually, no, I can search it up right here. QARUSD. Let's see. Oh, Qatari. You're Qatari? Holy shit, man. I've only been there once to the airport, but it was a very, very nice airport. I will say. Probably the nicest airport I think I've ever been to. Anyways, I think that'd have to be Singapore. Singapore is pretty fucking cool. All right, you're looking at SEI, please, short and long term. Sure, man, sure. Like I said, I do have a hard time limit here. Got about another 30 to 40 minutes, let's say. So I should be able to get through a lot, actually. Oh, fuck. I don't want it on this chart. Let's go to this chart here. Yeah, SEIUSD. We'll put this one up. No, not Kraken, not Crack Derp. Let's go to this one. All right, this is a 6-month time frame, so not too helpful. Yeah, I do look at this as good here, just because that last week's rejection of the 55 being eaten up on what appears to be a bullish engulfing dildo as of right now. Still has another 2 days left to go, but if it can close above last week's high at 31.5 cents, I think that this thing very likely does follow through, and you probably get a move to like 45 cents or so, which is 50% move from where you're at right now. It still is lower highs the whole way through. That's kind of the problem with something like this, but you know, tradable move for sure, and quite nice. As far as the daily goes, you know, just need to see this one close above about 31.5 cent today, and I'd say, yeah, you're very likely looking at that move into the 40s. Nothing bearish about this thing as long as you're above last Tuesday's low at 25 cents or so. You know, just let the trend be your friend in this case, and should lead you on to a bit of the heavens there. But yeah, dependent upon that closure for sure. Higher term timeframes, not a big fan of it, but I do think it has room to rally here. Just put it bluntly. Then you're also looking at XRP, and assuming it breaks the all-time high, what is the minimum target? I'll just instinctively say like $5 or something. It's just going to be a nice round even number. I think a lot of people have been looking for that one as well. As far as XRP goes, you know, I do think it's safe to assume that this is going to be an early breakout right here. Technically, if you're going off of just range highs, you'd be waiting for about 264. I don't think it's necessary in this case, given the context of what's going on in the market. I do think that this one's going to challenge the high from May all the way at 270 or so, or just below 270. Should be a bit of a short-term pullback there, but I don't think that's going to be a reversal. This is shaping up for a real breakout, in my opinion. You have a higher low right here. We hit our major corrective target between 180 to 190. That was in late June, so that condition has been met, and since then, it's just been a higher low, and by getting to that last prior high, you know, it's not a higher high just yet, but it is the same high, so that is going to have a bullish bias. I don't necessarily know when it's going to break out, but when I see reads like this on your 5-day stochastic oscillator alongside BBWP showing something like this, I think that has a legitimate chance to break out to the upside this month, and if it does, you're looking at $3 plus. I mean, you're probably just going to see this thing make new all-time highs, to be fair. Monthly continues to use that red 5 EMA as a nice, a nice basing zone. This has been the one thing that makes me continually say to XRP, it's like, look, it can look certain types of ways. You know, yeah, it has a pullback here and there, but as long as it's above there, you know, long term it is okay, or at least that's the way that I kind of look at things. And then you're also looking at SUI, short and long term targets. Let's see, I have SUI on my list, although I've never owned it nor really care to. But like I said, if you're going to be playing the shitcoin relay, this isn't the worst time to be doing it. Probably the best time to be doing it, to be honest. Looking at the monthly here, actually, this could be shaping up to be something really fucking strong. Now, it is premature to be saying this, but if SUI can really trade above last month's high, technically you want to see it close above there, but let's say it closes a weekly above last month's high, which is 356. It's very close to right now, by the way. This is going to start to look like a monthly higher low. I think at minimum you have a move back up to 4.25, 430-ish region, and then you almost got the same setup here as you do on XRP, challenging this high from May. You know, probably a short-term pullback once you hit it, but this is a real setup to actually break through after a bit of a short-term pullback. And looking at the weekly, yeah, I do think that this one will follow through. I really like I like trends, and I like higher lows, and you got a higher low right here. Momentum's about to flip back onto the upside too, above 334. So, you know, just can't really be bearish on these things given the context of the market. Basically, as long as this one's above yesterday's low, just let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Just let it go home. Let it go home. Let it go to its little golf ball home. Anyways, we got Ray now next. He says, good morning, Crown. What's up, man? Hope you're well as well, sir. I'm tracking BNB on the daily and 5-day. Would you consider the current move a breakout? Let's see. BNB. This one has actually had one of the better charts of the majors for a while. And Do I consider, okay, if you're going by the book, technically, no, it is not a breakout just yet on these higher time frames. You'd want to see above that May high, the May 26 high of, what is it, like 698. Now, again, I think given the context of this market and what Bitcoin's doing, I think that it very likely will confirm that. But if you're going by the book, technically, no. But higher term time frames, man, this one is this one is good. I really like the monthly right here. Again, monthly high or low. Momentum's about to flip back onto the upside above 660. It's well above there right now. Well, 690 and it's 20 days left to go in the month. Okay, a little bit early to say, but assuming everything follows through, I think you're going to see a move similar to XRP. Challenge these highs, probably make new highs. We do have this trendline extension here on the price action pivots indicator at 875-ish region. I don't think that happens this month, but an area of interest in the coming months if you do see a real breakout here. At that point, once it gets to 900, you're probably going to see 1,000 at some point as well. But this one, acting quite well, acting with Bitcoin. So that's a good sign. And like I said, if you're going to be playing shitcoin relay, I do believe that this next segment of the market cycle is probably the best time to be doing such things if you want to get down and dirty. But yeah, if you're going by the book, technically it's not broken out just yet. I think that it very likely will. Really like the reads right here. Low volatility with 5-day momentum, freshly turning back up above 660. If not now, then when? Basically what I'm saying is the same thing as Bitcoin. It's like, it's either going to do it right now or this is coming back down significantly to like 550 or something. But I do favor the upside again, just to be very, very blunt. 660, if it closed below there in the next 3 days, okay, maybe something else is going on. But until then, I would favor the upside. That's just me, perhaps. All right, we got Crypto Shart. I was doing that a little bit earlier as well. I ate too many raspberries and blueberries. Funnily enough, there's a lot of fiber in those things, man. They keep you in the bathroom for a long time. Anyways, you don't give a fuck about that. You're looking at Syrup Daily. It's for my pancakes. I like pancakes too. This one has also been, I recognize this one as also one of the better shitcoins just because it is newer. And for the history that we do have, it goes up into the right. And we like that. As far as this thing goes, like I don't really have like a long-term analysis for this. Going off of trends here, or at least going off of pivots, 58 cents is the next big one to the upside. Do I think it's going to reclaim that region? Probably yes. This looks like a bullish reset to me. We've seen daily stochastic momentum come all the way down, resetting to about 56 cents, which is very close to right now. So if it flips that, if it closes above there today, I think that this one will follow through. It should challenge these highs, make new all-time highs. Maybe that happens next week. Only bearish if it comes back down yesterday's low, Thursday's low, and effectively closes below there. If you see something like that, okay, yeah, something else going on. This thing's going to probably correct all the way back down to like 35 cents or something. But until then, like I said, this is not the time to be overthinking things. At least that's just my opinion. Cameron Maltby says, ENA daily, weekly, got you 40 or 60 cent targets. Well, you can have whatever targets you want, man, but it doesn't mean they're going to happen. 40 cents, I think you're already at 40 cents, right? I mean, the high of this week is 37, 40 cents. I mean, that's a very, very small move. For something like this, do I think it gets to 60 cents? I think 50 cents, honestly, is your next big area. The problem with this, however, is that it is weak. You still got lower lows on the weekly and lower highs, obviously. Your last lower high was 46 cents. So to look for anything above 46 cents, you do have to be anticipating a bit of a trend flip here, which I don't like front running these sort of things. Like I said, if you're going to be aggressive, I guess this is the time to do it, but this wouldn't be my first pick. Yeah. Now I look at this and I do think it probably will test this high at about 46 cents, maybe hit 50 cents. I don't see the relevancy of 60 cents, though, to be honest. If it reclaims 50 cents, you're going to see this thing not stop at 60. You're going to see it at like 75 to 80. Yeah, but I guess it's not a macro lower low, so at least you got that. But yeah, I think that there's easier charts today, to be honest. 40 cents, I think, very, very likely. Even 45 cents, perhaps. But 60 cents, I'd want to see that area actually reclaimed first. Then, okay, yeah, I don't think it even stops at 60 cents there. I think it goes higher. Anyways, fucking buy the dip says, Stinky Linky. I know exactly what you want, sir. I always know. Link is the one that you are looking for, sir. And similar thing here. I imagine this is probably what Doggy Coin looks like as well. And all of these sort of prior cycle coins that, don't go into like the super shit coin category. They probably have like a real working product and, people who actually care about it. And this thing does seem to be breaking above this declining, or what do you want to call it, just this ascending regression channel right here. And it looks like it's very likely going to be confirmed at the end of this week. Technically, you want to see this one close above about $14. I think it's very likely that it will. If it does, you're going to see momentum freshly turn up alongside very low volatility rates, alongside resolving this on a higher low. I think you have a clear and easy move somewhere back around $18. Again, very likely going to pull back on the first pass from that May high, but this would be the real time for it to actually, after a pullback, try to really reclaim that and put in a big move to the upside. In this case, I think it would undoubtedly get to mid 20s, maybe even just continues on with the overall rally. I don't know, but at least those next two pieces of the puzzle would seem quite clear if that happens, which I think again. I'm very much lenient towards these things happening right now, just because of where we're at in the grand scheme of things, given what Bitcoin's doing. So do kind of understand my reasoning behind that. Where would I get concerned about this thing? I guess below yesterday's low. We could probably negate everything that I just said. I mean, this one is still, in a pretty nasty trend right here, but yeah, fair enough. Anyways, ASD is looking at algo short and long. Okay. Algo, this is one of the Trump coins, I think, or something like that. Not really acting like one, still acting like a piece of shit coin, but, where's your next most relevant area of interest? I mean, you're kind of at it right now. It's basically today's high, 22.5 cents. Would like to see a weekly close above there. And then I would say that this, again, you probably have a premature reversal. You got a bit of a higher low there and weekly momentum turning up on not bullish divergence, but it would be turning up. Again, it needs to close above this week's high, 22.5 cents. At that point, you're almost guaranteed a retest of your May highs. That would be 26 cents. I kind of have the same thing to say about this one as I do on Link, except this one's just significantly weaker, to be fair. So, if it does reclaim that high, this thing can go on a pretty mega run. I think it might even get to the weekly 200 simple here, which is all the way around like upper 30s, low 40s. But that should be your next sort of major high, to be honest. I really don't like charts like this. I just think that there's better things to be focusing on. But, if it puts in a big move towards, deep 30s, I don't know, maybe that's worth it for you. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I still think that there's just easier, better setups across the board. Looking at who else do we have? Yes. Okay. Nimbo's got it. Nice, man. Thank you for that, my man. Shout out to the amazing Miss Tamika Page. We have a new girl in the cave. What the fuck? Oh, shit. All right. I didn't wear my nice shirt today. God damn it. Well, just try to act cool, I guess. Hubris the God says, TMC stock weekly. I am also a girl on the internet too. Yes. We are all girls on the internet. ASL, sir. Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. This portion of the cycle. No, this isn't even crypto. Stock weekly. Where can it pull back to? I think you just saw the pullback, man. If you're treating this as a breakout, it should continue to climb its way above using this sort of 630-ish region as a basing point. But if you do see it come back down below, not yesterday's low, but Wednesday's low, that would be 627. I think you have something else going on. And at that point, you could expect, or I would be expecting a deeper retracement. I think that's probably what you're looking for. That would make me look a little bit below $5. Let's call it like 490 or so, maybe even lower. But for right now, this thing continues to stair step its way up. So I wouldn't look at that as actionable until you're, again, below Wednesday's low. Wednesday's low is about 6.25 or so. So yeah, man. King Sock says SUI daily, please. I think we already got that one earlier, so all good there. Maybe we didn't look at the daily exactly, so perhaps we could go back to that for just a moment. Why is my SUI not in? Oh, it is. It's like, why is it not alphabetical? And like, I'm literally fucking on it right now. Yeah. We've already seen this one. Still think it generally just kind of floats up from here. Probably 380 is your next major area of interest, but this one, again, has a real chance here to break out off of that higher low. I really like that. Anyways, I like that. Anam says, what is the timeline we are looking to hit these? Who's we? Who the fuck is we? Hey, I can give you my analysis. I can tell you what I'm thinking. I can tell you what I'm doing even. But I'm not going to tell you what the fuck to do, man. I'm not your dad. I'm also not your financial advisor. And if I do, then, well, I need some compensation. I need, how about 100% of your profits? That'd be good. Maybe 110%. kidding, man. Look, man, I don't know how to answer your question because I don't fucking know. I don't know the answers, man. I don't know the answers. No one knows the answers to these sorts of things. And to provide an answer is to just be misleading. No one fucking knows. I've given out some methods to kind of get around the dates, but again, these are just averages. You can have things that massively overshoot the average. You can have things that massively undershoot the average. We just know over time we kind of expect the results somewhere around those averages. So the major areas of interest were about 3 weeks from now, then about 5 weeks from now, and then something in late September. So I don't know. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, man. I don't know if it's going to even happen at all. You know, there's no guarantees with these things. What if some sort of unforeseen black swan event happens in like a week, and then, you know, I don't know, someone sets off a fucking nuke? Like, it's probably going to cause some downside price action. Might have to readjust, you know, the price targets, right? Anyways, Klaus Schwab. Holy shit, it's him? Didn't you step down or something like this? Anyways, GM sir. UNIRAY, you want to look at Uni versus Ray? All right, I guess. Uni, is this even a thing? I don't. All right, it is actually a thing. I would not want to. I wouldn't want to own either of these. Maybe you just meant. Maybe you think that we're just going to do two. We're not going to do more than one, man. Maybe we could look at Uniswap. We can look at this one really quickly. Looks like most of these shitcoin charts right here. Again, a little bit more on the weaker side because it did make a lower low, but do I think it's going to push through and try and move towards like 10, 11 bucks? Probably yes. Just long term. Again, these are garbage. Like, guys, I feel the need to say this. Look, again, I'm not your fucking financial advisor. I'm not your dad. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but for fuck's sake, you don't need to trade and invest in these prior cycle shitcoins. They are not going to do as good as a new shit. They are not going to do as good as a new shit. Yes, they might get some nice moves to the upside here. We've said this a million fucking times. However, they are going to be massively overshadowed by the new good shit. This is bad old shit. We want new good shit. See, when something has a mega massive move down like this, you should avoid it like the plague. I shouldn't say you should. I would be avoiding that like the fucking plague. So yeah. All right, cool. Let's see what else Nibbo's got for me. Yeah, you think it's going to rip in a big way. I mean, this one, I don't even think it's going to get back above its December's highs, man. You're playing the same game that I see a lot of people play, which is, oh shit, this thing used to be at this price, now it's at this price, so it must get back to that other price. There's no guarantees in that. Like, garbage acts like garbage. I don't make the rules. VR Emirates says buy pump fund token T. Wait, are you? I'm not doing that. I feel like I'm just reading off a fucking advertisement. I'm not doing that, man. I'm sorry. WJSP says hype price targets, please. I think I have hype on my list. Again, not something I've ever owned. Price targets isn't. I don't fucking know, man. Look at this. It's in a blue sky breakout. It's very, very new. There's no way for me to know something like this. The best I can do is something that's not even that great, but I guess it'll suffice in these instances here. We can draw a Fibonacci extension. You know, your next sort of areas of interest are like 51 to 55. Above there, you got 66 to 69. Does it get all the way up to those? I don't fucking know. But if it does, those are the areas that I'd be looking for on a bit of a short-term pullback at least. If anything, though, in the short term, I mean, this thing still operating below that prior high. Maybe it spends a little more time consolidating here sideways. Still most likely to break out to the upside over time. But yeah, this move doesn't look as ready to me. Then again, I go to the 5-day, maybe it is. Yeah, if you can close the 5-day or the weekly, which I believe close at the same time above 45.81, then sure, okay, you're probably looking at mid 50s, let's say. And if things continue from there, and you're looking at mid 60s, something like that. But Bitcoin's pulling back. Holy shit, what's going to happen? Let's see what Bitcoin is doing here. Need to go down to the very low term time frames to get anything exciting. Oh, could it be a bit of a short term pullback? I don't know. Maybe back down to 117 even. Does it go all the way down to 116? Crazy things. It would be super fucking crazy if we actually did see the weekly come back down below like 110 by end of day. That would be really crazy. That would be very, that would change around a lot of things for me. Fad One says, GM, Mr. Crown, what's up, man? Solana, daily, weekly, please. I think we've looked at this one as well earlier. Maybe, maybe not. But we can go back to it because I don't remember it. And yes, it's right here. This one also kind of breaking out of what would be a descending regression channel here. And we can make an implied target from this. And it would be pointed up somewhere, I'm guessing, a little bit north of 200 bucks. Let's see. Actually, that would be pointed back up towards like 240 to 250-ish region. I do think it has upside here in the short term. I do think that the daily very likely does follow through after maybe a short-term pullback. It's stuck right now at the 200 simple, which is very common. In fact, that's where your last couple rallies did get arrested at. But once you start to close back above that region, let's call it 165, I do think that this thing, I think that it retests those May highs and probably does get somewhere close to this target. Maybe not all the way there. Maybe it's more like 230, but 230, 240 from where it's at right now. I mean, it's a pretty fucking good move still. Go to the monthly. Yeah, I still don't necessarily love this one long term, to be honest. But I do think that it has some short term upside here. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah, 6 month, I have a really big problem with this chart, but could easily trade back above $200. It's just, I think that this one has a highs in, to be honest, for this cycle. Again, I think it's going to get close to those highs, like might even get all the way to like 245. It's not so far away from its current all-time high, but well, I guess we'll see. I'm happy to eat my words on that one. Crypto Chart says ARB on the weekly, please. Sure. ARB, this is Arbidium. Oh, nice. We have another prior cycle shitcoin. Great idea. Let's see what this one's doing. It's definitely doing very well, right? Well, maybe not. I know that there's probably more price action history than this, but I think it's just going to make it look even worse and worse. So far, again, a nice early rejection of the white 200 simple on the daily time frame. It's still on lower highs and lower lows. Like these ones make it so fucking difficult to like them. But just like a lot of the other ones, given the context of this market, I do think there is a legitimate possibility it will fall through with an extension of this upside move. You know, you're seeing the weekly stochastical sort of reposition to the upside above 34 cents. Still have to wait until the end of Sunday. But if it does, assuming it is above 34 cents by the end of Sunday, it should at least retest this high from May. You know, if it does reclaim that high and close above it, then okay, maybe got something interesting towards like 65 to 70 cents region. But for now, like again, just these are prior cycle shitcoins. I just think that they're incredibly uninteresting compared to the dearth of of options that you have across the board. Again, you go to the weekly here. Just the more price action history that I get, the worse and worse it looks, man. This is always a bad thing when you have these very long-term nasty downwards moves, which look, this thing has never even known what a fucking uptrend is. Like it doesn't even know how to go up consistently over a long period of time. It just gets these one-off moves like you see right here and like right here, but those have no continuation. Those do not materialize into anything. So do I think that it's going to do the same thing over here? Probably yes. I think at most it might get to like 75 to 80 cents region, but do I think it's going to make a higher high than December? Unlikely, to be honest. Unlikely, in my opinion. Anderson77 says Cardano 4-hour and daily, looking for more short-term resistance levels. Love the green dildo energy. I love green dildos in and around my face as well. It's very, very good. Also in my Angus. Jason Pizzino sent me a very weird message last night on Twitter. I should probably let you know. Let's see. What the fuck? What is going on over here? Sorry, just got some weird messages. Fuck, what was I just doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna bring up Jason's message. Should I do this? I don't know if I should dox him like this, but he was asking me at like 4 a.m. Are you waiting to receive my limp penis? That was just a message out of the blue. I don't know what to respond to that. Anyways. maybe I'm the one who thinks it's funny. Anyways, yeah, Cardano here. Yeah, same sort of thing as what we have seen many times. Again, I just don't like these charts that have long-term downside, but it is breaking out, should fall through to the upside. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing back around at least 75 cents. So that's a decent move from where it's at right now. If it was going to break down, I feel like it had its chance to break down. That was a couple of weeks ago. It didn't take it. So in this case, I think that it at least travels a little bit higher. But the big, clean, clear pivot is this one right here at, where's the price action pivot? 86 cents and change. You know, if it can get back above there, this thing can actually really move. And when I say really move, I think it could even get back up to like $1.50 or plus. That actually starts to look pretty good. So maybe I should check myself on this because it is Cardano after all. Probably not the best idea to be super bullish on this. At least it does have macro cycle higher low. So there's that, you know, that sets it apart from most things. Just still don't like these ones that look like this. So yeah. But, you know, I do think it'll at least get up to like the mid 70s, maybe even touch 80 cents. That's going to be the big test for me. Does it break strongly into that region? If it does, okay, it probably does follow through. Again, this is the environment for these sort of things to actually do something. And to be fair, Cardano has survived multiple cycles, and it has done something that most other things have not, which is make a higher high in the subsequent cycle and a higher low. Almost everything else has not. But let's look at it versus Bitcoin. Let's see if this is doing any better. No, very, very bad. Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to be extremely bearish on this chart long term. And again, even this one's going to get its bounces as well, but all bounces lead towards the same thing. Anyway, sorry, you specifically asked about low-term time frame resistances. Well, if you're asking about short-term timeframes, you're literally at one right now. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong chart. Let me go back to the US dollar chart. Let's go to a 4-hour. Okay. Yeah, if you're on the lower term time frames, I mean, you're literally at one right now. Your next one's going to be this high here at about 73 to 75 cents. Above there, you got, of course, the May highs in the low to mid 80s. Other than that, you know, I do think it's going to pull back a little bit here, consolidate a little bit lower, and then assuming that all is well, assuming that Bitcoin doesn't shit the bed, this thing should fall through to the upside and should get that move, let's call it mid 70s or so. David is looking at Render daily, weekly. Render, okay. Render Derper. Again, another 2021 shitcoin, or maybe even beyond, and another just painful chart to be looking at, to be honest. Looking at the daily, very similar chart in the short term to the last one that we looked at. I do think most things are going to get a free ride, if they haven't already, to their white 200 simple moon averages on the daily. This one would be at about $4.50. That's for the daily. Again, it could take some time to happen. Weekly's been in a downtrend ever since March of last year, so more than a year long. You know, when everything else was making new all-time highs, this thing still going down. But yeah, you know, even if it gets back up to $4.50, that doesn't do much for it in the long term. The area of interest for the long term is this high here from May at 552. If it can reclaim that high, then yes, I think that this thing goes on for a pretty mega rally. I think that's the big one to me. This, you know, above there, I think you go to like $9-10. And maybe you do the LARP line. I don't necessarily know why I drew it out like that, but yeah. Anyways, all my picks says, what is the next price target of Bitcoin? Oh God, I fucking hate these questions. Like, dude, listen to yourself, for fuck's sake. You don't even have like a time frame that you're looking for a target. What's the next target on a minute time frame chart? What's the next target on a monthly time frame chart? Do you think they're the same thing? Obviously not. Like, for fuck's sake. See, this is why there's so many fucking scammers in this space, because people will ask questions thinking that there's an actual answer to something like this without even giving any context, and well, the fucking wrong person is going to actually tell you their opinion, which literally cannot be correct anyways, because they don't even have the context on what the hell you're asking. Bitcoin broke all bull tops if connect via trendline. I don't give a fuck about that. 13K-ish to trendline. I, again, don't care about these sort of things. Don't care about these sort of things. Look, I think I've made my thoughts pretty clear on this. Like, my next major areas of interest for the timeframes that we spoke about much earlier. You got 120 in the more short term. You got 135 in the more medium term. Maybe that's like a few weeks out. You got 155 to 160, maybe like early September. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Again, I have no idea if that's what you're looking for or not. You have, again, I don't know if you're talking about a minute time frame. I don't know if you're talking about a second time frame, an hourly, 4-hour, daily, weekly, monthly. These obviously change everything significantly. So there's just absolutely no way to accurately answer your question, man. And I literally just don't even know. I don't think really anyone knows, to be honest. But yeah. Anyways, I'll get back onto the comments over here. And I should remind myself that, yes, I do have about 10 minutes left. But sir, when will I be rich? Well, are you already rich? Because then you might already be. When Lambo? Yes, we need some more when Lambo. Lots of Lambo talks. Lambos didn't seem to be very popular in the 2021 cycle. That seemed to be a 2017 cycle thing. I wonder why that is. Dr. J says, yesterday I was down 50%, but today I'm pumped 25%. Am I now back halfway? How are you seeing P&L swings that big? Like, for what? For fuck's sake, man. Bjorn says, and we're back. Oh, did I break it? Maybe I broke it. Fear and Greed is only 71. Yeah, I mean, I haven't checked it myself, but let's see. I think Coin Market Cap has one right here. So let's see how this one, see what this one says. This one's pointed towards a 67 right now, but you know, I'm not super concerned with this until it's like above 90 for a while. You know, you do expect near the end of your bull markets for it to stay in extreme greed for a while. 67 is not concerning to me in any way, shape, or form. And even when it does get to like 90 or 95 or even 99, I'm actually not that concerned at that moment. I'm concerned like, let's say 2 to 6 weeks from that time. When Epstein Diddy Island, I don't know, but I want to go. Sir, am I retarded, says Kelso? I don't know. It's possible. I am definitely retarded, so I probably am not. I'm probably too lobotomized to judge you, sir. I'm behind a one-way ticket. Yes, indeed. Will SPX 6900 flip the SPX 500? Yeah, man, for sure. Absolutely. Just definitely go all in on leverage. Don't have a stop loss, and you can contact Must Stop Murad for refunds. What's up, Mr. Peter Underwood? Crown, have you heard of Elliot's new shitcoin Black Hole? Yeah, actually, I was talking about it earlier, man. I don't want to show it like too much just because me and Elliot are friends, and you know, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I don't have any insider information on this thing, by the way, just for the people who have been asking. Yes, Elliot's a very, very good friend, but I do respect him, and I don't want to put him in a weird position, obviously. But yeah, he does have his new shitcoin coming out. I personally think it's probably the best timed new project maybe of eternity. I mean, for fuck's sake, man, he's timing the launch of it on the same day that Bitcoin is breaking out to 120,000 bucks. I mean, for fuck's sake, man, well done on that one. But yeah, as far as the project goes, I don't really know much about it, to be honest with you. I think it's like, I think I just remember seeing this somewhere. I don't even know if this is fucking accurate at all, but I think I remember seeing that it's similar to like a hyperliquid exchange, but on AVAX. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, because it's very likely I am wrong on that. But I don't know. I don't know if that's even it, but if it is, I think it's a great narrative. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So fair enough, man. Arib says symbol EL. Okay, I don't. You're just telling me your trade setup? All right. Okay. I guess I'll look at it. You entered at 67. Okay. So you did the hard part very well. You bought literally the last higher low, or sorry, 2 higher lows ago. That was from 13th of June. Beautifully done right there. You are targeting what? 120, 150. I think your next most obvious area is actually just a little bit above 100. You probably will see a small reaction there. 120, I don't see the relevancy of 120, to be honest. I would say from there, the next big one to me is 140, 140 to 150. Jay Toom says, Crown, how important is it to have big dick for a career in trading? I don't know, man. I only have a small PP. I feel like trading requires a lot of confidence, and a big dick can help with that. Well, continue jelking, sir. That's the only way to make it grow, apparently. Also, I think you can break your dick that way. At least that's what I heard. Diddy and Kamala, they're teaming up. That's great. I think that they would make a great couple, actually. What's up, Crypto Saint? Biden. Wait, what is with all the Biden ditties? Is this the new thing? Yeah. Fucking crazy, man. Totally crazy. D Web says, Crown Sir, will you be adding Hyperliquid or lighter DEX exchange to the Quant Prime integration? That's not up to us, actually. It's up to the service provider, which we typically use Alertatron to make the connection between exchange and TradingView. So could Alertatron partner up with Hyperliquid? I don't see why not. They are partners with other DEXs. Are there potentially other third parties that executors that will work with Hyperliquid? Probably yes. I just don't know what they are, but you could also use that as well if you really wanted. I do understand that Hyperliquid, people seem to really love it, so that'd be great. I think if it's not already available, it will be available very, very soon to have that connectivity. Or ideally, if Hyperliquid would just have like a straight webhook to TradingView, I mean, that would make it possible as well. Crown, do you want to look at the Balkan Dwarf? Yes, let's look at the Balkan Dwarf. Whoops, that does not work. Yes, there we go. It is having a nice upside move here. Again, most things are going to get free rallies for sure, based off of Bitcoin's back, but I don't know, man. Do I think that this thing's going back up anywhere near all-time highs? I don't think so. But hey, it could 2x from here, and it really wouldn't mean anything for the chart at all, but it would still be a 2x move. So fair enough. I don't know, man. I think if you're going to play these things at this portion of the cycle, just understand what you're getting into. Again, I'm not here to be your dad and tell you what to do. I just would humbly say, there are easier plays around the market if you go looking for them. Typically the newer stuff, perhaps some of the ones that we even just spoke about. So yeah, man, This would not be my first choice. It's dwarfing time. Could be dwarfing time. I'm gonna take some. It's sipping time for me. Hey, Crown, you see there's a new Odyssey movie coming out? Really? Like Odyssey based off of Homer's Iliad? If there is, that sounds awesome, man. But hopefully they don't fucking wokeify it and destroy it, because it's really difficult to trust Hollywood with things right now. Like, has there even been like a good epic movie in the past 10 years? Like, really, has there been a good epic movie in the past 10 years? Like an epic one. I'm not talking about like your average run-of-the-mill good movie. I'm talking about like an epic movie, like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, these sort of things. These heroes' adventures, these heroes' journeys, these tales, man. Those are the best tales. Now that would be a match. Kamala would like the freakouts. She used to be a call girl, really, and slept her way in positions. I have been using some off the grid AIs, which are jailbroken. And one of the images that I wanted to conjure with this amazing piece of technology is naked images, actually pornographic images of Kamala Harris. Okay, I'll say it straight up. I actually have looked at these things, and I don't think she's going to make it as as an escort, sir. But I had to know. I have to know. I absolutely have to know. Sandman is out. I don't know anything about that one. Is it going to be a horror movie? Crown, can you look at Bitcoin versus gold? Yeah, actually, I have it on my list. Oh, it's all the way up here, I think. Yes, there we go. It has not broken its all-time high. No, it's nowhere near its all-time high, to be fair. But I do like the trend here. I mean, if you put this onto a line chart, I think it becomes very, very simple, right? It's a nice uptrend. It already has a higher low. I think you're very likely going to see this one retest your prior closing high. Probably makes new highs from there. Here's our quarterly. Here's our 6 month. I mean, I think it's good, man. I think it's good. I think it's really good. Yeah. But absolutely must make new all-time highs in this next 6 months. Otherwise, I will flip around massively to the other side. But I do think that it will. I do think that it will. But yeah, technically, we'd really be expecting new all-time highs in this next or basically between now and end of year. Super, yeah, we can look at Super really quickly. Elliot's primary shitcoin, we got 77 cents, having a really nice rally here, as are most of these things. Again, I think there's newer, interesting charts, but this one at least stands out from the majority, the overwhelming majority of shitcoins that we looked at earlier that have been around for more than one cycle. You got a weekly higher low right here. I always like that. You're about to see weekly momentum turn back up freshly if this thing finishes the week above 69 cents. Great number as well. At that point, assuming that does happen, I would be looking for a fall through to test the May highs. The real question is, does it break and close above the May highs, at least on a daily time frame, preferably a weekly? If that happens, I think that something like this can rally significantly. We're talking like 120 to 140 region, which is a very big move from where it's at right now. I mean, that's more than 50% move, so not bad at all. But yeah, we'll see. And just like all of the other ones, we could put in validations on nearly all of these rallies on Thursday's low. So as long as it's above Thursday's low, just let it go up and to the right. When it starts to close below there, then perhaps the opposite is about to take over. The trend is your friend, says Andrea. Yes, indeed it is. The trend is your friend. We love the trend. We love the trend. And we love... I won't say it. Break Freaky says, hey, Crown, SAROSUSD. Okay, I'll check it out. It's a new one for me. So let's see. Maybe it's great. Maybe it's terrible. So far, great. So far, amazing. Probably the best thing that we've seen today, in fact. Look, this thing has had a pretty intense rally right here. But to put it into perspective, it's actually, we're not even seeing volatility hit. They're not even extreme on any level, at least above a 4 hour. Yeah, daily's even coming off of lows right here while freshly turned. I think that this thing is ready to roll, man. This is the perfect environment for something like this. Yes, the rally does look extreme, and I think that it gets a little bit more extreme. Maybe it puts in a new all-time high around like 30 cents, but at that point, you're probably going to get a big pullback. If and when it does pull back, I think you got 18 to 20 cents. That's a very natural area to be looking at. But does this one make a new all-time high first? I think it will, actually. I think it will. Again, I'd be using, in this case, today's low as a nice pivot point. As long as you're closing above there, this thing should fall through. Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad. ETH is going to be the story. There is a second best. I know a lot of people have been saying this, but yeah, still very uninteresting and uneventful compared to everything else. I mean, we've seen shitcoins that look better than this thing in the short term, but hey, it has at least done the most important thing for Ethereum, which is get back above that June high. And, you know, I think that this thing generally will rally up towards like 3,600-ish region. Does it make new highs from here? I don't know. Yeah, it should get back around there, 4,000, let's say. I don't know if it makes new highs from here, but should have a pretty decent rally, I would imagine. Like, you know, close to 50% from where you're at right now. So yeah, not bad. I love Tren. It's my friend. It also makes you attracted to trannies, actually. And I know that from experience. I actually do know that. You follow chart trends, but how about fashion trends? Well, as you can see, I wear about the same thing every day. So yes. Is XLM a good buy? If you mean like wave into it goodbye, then yeah, it's great. Jesus Christ, man. Again, just easier things. Anyways, okay. I think I need to get going, actually. Yeah, ETH is too slow to the party for me to really care about. I'm not saying that you're not going to make money here. Again, it makes higher highs and higher lows from cycle to cycle, so that puts it head and shoulders above 99.9% of the rest of the shitcoins. But at the end of the day, here's the chart that matters, the Bitcoin chart. And I think it's going to gain here. I think it's really going to gain. I think you are finally looking at that move close to 4 million Satoshis. I just think that, it's just another lower high here. It's very, very bad on the Bitcoin pairing, but it can rally a lot. It can rally a lot versus Bitcoin and still remain absolutely fucking awful versus the parent. So I think close to a 2x rally from here almost. But do I think it's going to materialize into like a real reversal? No, this thing's literally back at, prior macro cycle lows. That's not a good sign. Anyways, okay, I'll do this last super chat right here, man. But like I said, I do need to be a little bit more guarded with my time, man. But this absolutely has to be the last one. All right, you're looking at Fart Derp. Oh god, it's this Fartcoin thing. God damn it. Fartcoin versus Ethereum. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm just gonna go with this one, man. Yeah, I mean, versus Ethereum, it looks great. A little bit of a pullback from this last local high here. Maybe it pulls back a little bit more, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't really matter in my opinion. I think you will break through there and you're going to be trading back around these highs here. So somewhere in this vicinity after breaking this, and this is one mega massive uptrend as well. I mean, look at this. Like, you have consistently higher lows the whole way through. Like, that's very, very good. So whatever this one does long, maybe something like this, whatever it does, like, I'm generally going to be very, very bullish on something like this as long as you're above whatever the hell this low is right here long term. All right, that's going to do it for today. Holy shit. Really pushing it to the end here. But yeah, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone joining in. As always, been an absolute pleasure. I'll be signing off on that note. And yeah, no videos on the weekends. So we shall resume our rendezvous on Monday.